Hello, Old School Gamer 1971 here, greetings one and all, especially to you, Millie and Lloyd. Today my third hour thoughts is on the Caretaker. I've been playing this game for around 3 hours, and this is what I think. The Caretaker by Inversion Games. It's a horror title that came to the PlayStation 4 in 2019. The Caretaker is not a sequel. There are other games out there like this. Look at Remothered Tormented Fathers for reference. For a start off, I do wish I played these games the opposite way round. This is an indie title through and through, which brings us nicely onto, that segue was just so smooth. Inversion Games. Being honest, I can't find out anything about them. Proof if proof were needed of how independent the developer and game really is. I cannot remember the last time I couldn't find out a single thing about the developer. You play as an investigative journalist, Joe Salinger, who wants to unlock the mystery surrounding the Caretaker, who lost his mind, killed his co-workers, and then committed suicide. Joe has the whole debunking urban myths and legends shtick. The game does tell you where to look first on the map, and that's about all the help you are getting. Whilst nothing is given away, a little more information would not have gone amiss. I also feel there is a lack of information overall. More on this later. So is this the Caretaker, Freddy from A Nightmare on Elm Street, or is it the Caretaker, Groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons? So with no real intro to talk about, we get straight into those graphics. This in a way is rather clever and uses jiggery pokerer to cover up their shortcomings. I thought it was weird there was no brightness control on the game, especially considering it's quite a dark game. It's a game with pretty good graphics really on the whole. However, the areas inside are kind of barren, with a lot of rubbish strewn onto the floor. To be fair, it does look pretty good for urbex, but a little uninteresting gaming wise. Most areas are dark, which whilst it was done so you didn't notice the repetitive textures, it does really start the atmosphere pretty damn well. I like some of the effects, some were just cheap jump scares, but overall it's not all bad. This is all good. It does sound really creepy. The sound in this game is its strongest point. It is a constant throughout the game. There is always sound, it is never quiet. As the game progresses, the more unnerving it becomes. Because the walking sound is repetitive, it lulls you into a false sense of security. And whilst I would have preferred more happening sometimes, I think that the balance is pretty good. For me, I like some of the creepy sounds. They come in at certain points and certainly sets you on edge. It also builds up to a big ending, sound wise anyway. Gameplay wise, to me this was a bit of a letdown, and whilst I wish I had played this before Remothered Tormented Fathers, they are very different in style, but the premise is still the same. Investigate, get chased and escape. I do think I would have reviewed this game slightly more fondly if I'd played it first, but it doesn't remove from those glaring problems. It does feel barren when in buildings. As well, the game does not have much to find, fewer things to investigate, to find out what happened. In fact, it has no real investigation at all. Should have been an urban explorer who happened upon an empty warehouse. Walking sometimes feels like you're wading through thick mud. It's better to run, but running can be noisy. However, when the caretaker gets too close, it's game over. But once you find out how to get rid of him, he poses no real threat at all. And the game ends so abruptly. This is all a pity, as the premise is rather good. Atmosphere, it does really well here. I felt on edge much of the game. The sound is good, and it does seem like I'm seeing things outside of my peripheral vision. And that was before my run-in with the caretaker. The music plays a starring role in this game. It becomes more abrasive until you become partially deaf after falling from a height. This does bring another level to the atmosphere. At that point I just wanted to get out of there, which funnily enough the game agreed and started to lead me down that path. Make sure you read everything on screen, as it is your only pointer as to what to do next. This is an atmospheric game for all of its misgivings. Whilst I am glad I played this, I do think a little more would have helped this game, a little more of everything really. I do think it was worth the money, and I do want to find those missing parts of the story that I missed during my playthrough. I would play this again and do think it's a promising developer. Because vision is limited, being chased feels a threat, and a few times I was shaking my head at my own ineptitude at escaping. Ultimately, if you want a survival horror game where you will be chased and you already own the following: Resident Evil 7, Outlast, Outlast 2, Alien Isolation and Remothered Tormented Fathers, then get this game maybe. I am in between on this game. I would play this again. So at a push, I guess it's The Caretaker, a groundskeeper Willie on Elm Street maybe. So that about wraps it up. I hope you all have a good day. If this has been helpful in any way, like, comment, share and subscribe, as it helps the channel grow and makes an old man happy. I post new videos every week. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Old School Gamer 1971 signing off.